Greetings, YouTube. The news article I'm going to be referencing today was actually written in May, and I believe that the person involved may no longer be in charge of the Tea Party. But that really doesn't affect what I'm going to be talking about, because what I'm going to be talking about is something that I figure hasn't changed a lot since this was said. Okay. Now, this deals with part of the Tea Party's protests concerning the Ground Zero Mosque, a structure that they want to build in the oh-so-sacred Burlington Coat Factory building. But I'm not really talking about the mosque today. What I'm talking about is what the leader, at least at the time of this article, Mark Williams, said during this protest. And he was quoted as saying that Muslims worship the terrorists' monkey god. Let that sink in for a second. Just let that kind of permeate your mind. That he said that Muslims worship the terrorist monkey god. Now, ignorance of that depth is really staggering. That's like the Mariana Trench of ignorance. And that's even ignorant for an American. And that's saying something, folks. Because there are few people in the world better at being ignorant than we Americans. And it's ignorance on a number of different levels. On the first level is the Tea Party's political platform. Now, the Tea Party's political platform is based around government spending and taxation, neither of which has anything to do with religion, any religion, unless, of course, you're talking about the St. Reagan's Church of the Almighty Dollar. But then maybe that's the faith that the Tea Party could get behind. I'm not sure. Now, the next level of ignorance is this person's complete and utter ignorance of the First Amendment, which grants all of us in America freedom of religion, and that the government is neutral. So, if Muslims want to worship their god, they can. If someone wants to worship the actual monkey god, they can. And there are actually several different monkey gods in the world. I know at least one Chinese, one Indian, and I think there may be some Polynesians in there. I'm not sure. But regardless, who your god is, or goddess, or what have you, doesn't matter. We have religious freedom here, religious equality. It's immaterial. But there's one deeper level of ignorance, and this is the one that I was just really wowed by. It appears that Mr. Williams is completely and utterly unaware of the fact that Jews, Christians, and Muslims all worship the exact same God. Not sort of the same God, not one God that's kind of related to the other God. No. This is the same God. All three of these faiths are from the Abrahamic tradition. All three of these faiths base each of their religions on the work of the previous religion. First came the Jews, and the Christians built on the Jews. Then came the Muslims, who built on both what the Christians and the Jews had said before them. But they're all worshipping the same God. Now, the Muslims do refer to God as Allah. That's an artifact of their language that the Quran was originally written in Arabic. It has nothing to do with the fact of who it is. It's just the word they use. Christians tend to say God, though technically Yahweh would be accurate, though I'm not sure that the Jews actually say that out loud or not. So I don't mean to offend anyone. But all three of these groups worship the exact same God, which is one of the reasons I've always been very, very confused about why the Jews, Christians, and Muslims can't get along. And you can imagine how confused I get when there are different Christian groups that are trying to kill each other or different Muslim groups that are trying to kill each other, because that even makes less sense. In addition to all of this, 78% of Americans have decided for themselves that they are Christian. So that means Mr. Williams not only insulted all of the Jewish people in America, who are a minority, and all of the Muslim people in America, who are a minority, but all of the Christian people in America, who are not a minority. In fact, I would probably say that the majority of the Tea Party members are probably Christian. So he just insulted everyone in one fell swoop. And that's why I say that ignorance on that level is staggering. And it is. I don't know what you do with someone like that. They're so wrong on so many levels, it could take you decades in getting to the point where we would just say that they're slightly wrong. Now, if he's no longer involved with the Tea Party, I can fully understand that. But I also thought the Tea Party had no leaders. It was supposed to be a grassroots organization that was kind of out of everywhere all at once. But maybe they have leaders. I'm not sure. Since they're nothing but a front for the Republicans anyway, I'm not really sure why they consider themselves to be a grassroots movement anyway. But when I encountered this news piece, and I went and looked it up online after actually seeing something on the news, television news, the other day, I just couldn't believe what I was reading. It was right in front of me there in black and white, you know, guy standing up and saying that the Muslims worship the terrorist monkey god. In addition, this also takes the position that all Muslims, obviously in his mind, are terrorists. They all must be jihadists, even though that the Muslims have no central authority of any kind, unlike, say, the Catholics. And I imagine that if he actually knew any Muslims, he wouldn't have that opinion. Because, you see, I know Muslims. I work with them. I talk to them. I converse with them. And guess what? None of them are terrorists. In fact, of all the Muslims I have ever met, all of them have been reasonable, moderate, law-abiding people. They have never done anything wrong to me. They have never threatened my nation. They have never called me names, something I cannot say for many of the Christians I've encountered in my life. So, frankly, I'd rather be surrounded by the Muslims than by Christians. But that's just me. And I apologize if I insult anyone with that. But my experience with a lot of fundamentalists out there has been less than positive. Now, I defend the right to be there. I will defend it now. I will defend it always. I always have. But I can't say I enjoy their company a lot of the time. Whereas in the Muslim community, I've never minded being around Muslim people. They've never bothered me. And it does bug me when I see a minority, any minority, get lambasted in the media again. Particularly by a man who should know better, because you know he's supposed to be educated on some level. You'd imagine that would be true with a leader now, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you expect a leader to actually have some concept, some idea of his own organization's rules, his own nation's amendments, and maybe, just maybe, his own faith's background? But maybe I'm asking too much.